All right, we're gonna make the world's best sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Been making this my whole life, and if there was a contest for sausage, gravy, and biscuits, I would enter it because I think we make the best in the world. So here you go. We're gonna show you how to do this. It's pretty easy. We're gonna try to make this quick. It takes about 30 minutes. So the first thing you want to do is start off with your breakfast sausage. I like to use a couple different brands, experiment around, see what you like. Actually, the ones that are the greasiest and the fattiest do the best, to be honest about it. Sometimes this Jimmy Dean is too lean. It doesn't give you enough grease. You want to actually have the sausage just swimming in grease as you're browning it up. So we're going to start that, and we'll be back. All right, you're going to want to put your breakfast sausage in the pan. Get your pan, you do it on high. I like to do just a little bit short of high. Wooden spoon. We're just going to keep smashing it down, smashing it up, cutting it in half, and do this till it's all brown. Just don't leave it unattended. You're going to be standing here with the wooden spoon in your hand for about a half hour. But it's worth it. Alright. Okay, so basically we're going to try to keep using the side of your wooden spoon, what I do. You're going to do this until you get the pieces as small as possible. I recommend not turning on your vent hood, your exhaust. You want the smell of this to go all through your house and wake everybody up. This is our Sunday morning special breakfast that we do. Not every weekend, but when we do, it's pretty awesome. When I was a kid, my dad made this stuff, and he was a country boy, and he made pretty good gravy. And I remember we'd eat at Bob Evans, and their biscuits and gravy. Their gravy was super dark brown and really thick. And when we made it at home, when my dad made it, it was more of a white gravy. We wanted to figure out how to make it a brown gravy. Like McDonald's did it too. McDonald's sausage gravy is really good. It's got like a nice brown color to it. And we're not making the white milk gravy plain with plain stuff you find at like Shoney's breakfast bar, places like that. This is going to be the McDonald's Bob Evans style. So what we figured out, this isn't like browning hamburger for sloppy joes or something like that. This is, you got to keep the sausage cooking until every bit of it has got the brown, crispy character to it. So even though everything pretty much at this point, there's a couple pieces of pink left, but it's almost brown. Now you can make the gravy now, but it's not going to be as good, trust me. So, and it's also not broken up enough. The more you get it broken up, the more flavor you get out of this. So just keep using the side of your wooden spoon and just keep smashing, and it'll take probably another couple minutes, and then we're going to add the flour. Okay, so at this point you can see we're still frying this stuff. It's popping and cracking. We're getting a lot more crispiness in there, and the pieces are almost as small as you can get them. Just find the biggest one, smash it down. So while you're doing this, get your biscuits on the pan, get your oven preheating, ready to go. Now, there's no measurements to this. Besides, you need one frying pan, one pack of biscuits, 1 pound of the breakfast sausage. This stuff starts to get a little too crispy. Start to roll your heat back a little bit. But that's what you want. You want this stuff to be crispy like bacon gets. That's the secret to this. All right. Sorry if you're type of person that likes to measure. So this is all by feel. So I would say we're using less than a quarter cup, maybe a quarter cup at most. So this is what we do here. You got enough flour, this is white flour, you'll hear all the sizzling kind of slow down a little bit. Here's a secret ingredient here, a little dash of olive oil. Like I said, the greasier, the oilier, the better. You can't drain the sausage, it doesn't work. So put a little olive oil in it, it helps out with that. And now it's basically health food. It's gotta be a little bit healthier. So see what's going on is the flour sticking to the sausage, and the smaller pieces give us more surface area. So at this point, I'm just still smashing. I'm smashing that flour down into the sausage. So now the flour is part of the whole brown exterior experience that's going on in here. We're just going to keep going with this. And as we do this, we're going to keep rolling the heat back, make sure it's not burning. And the amount of flour, like I said, that probably was not a quarter cup. At this point, you could stop at this point and just have that much flour. But I like to. It's almost like a funnel cake, basically like a heavily sugared funnel cake. Do that once. Say maybe not heavily sugared, but enough. You saw how I did to get it coated. It'll start to quiet down. But if you don't have any, like if it absorbs all the flour really quick and you still have grease in the pan, see how the pan is dry now? Because all that grease is soaked up. That's what you want. So this is where you get the color and flavor. It's going to be good anyway if you do it now. If you go ahead and put the milk in now. But we're going to keep going for maybe 5 minutes. Keep busting up the little flour balls that are in here. Get everything off your spoon. Get it mixed up in here. And do that for about 5 minutes until you start noticing. You'll notice all of a sudden there'll be these white, you'll start to see the flour get like an extra level of crispy that it hasn't been to yet. You'll see, we'll come back when it gets to there about 5 minutes. Okay. It has been a couple minutes. We've reached where I'm talking about. You can see it's nice and crispy. It hasn't started burning yet, but if we leave it too much longer, it's going to start smoking. All right, at this point, we're going to add the milk. So basically, I'm going to fill it up. I use 2% milk. You can use whole milk or skim milk too. The thicker milk makes it set up, turn into gravy faster. And skim milk takes a lot longer. 2% obviously right in the middle. So this is what happens. So now it's going to quit being really hot when you get it back boiling. So turn your heat up almost to high again. And you'll notice that the white milk slowly starts to turn color, and all the stuff we've been frying into these little sausage pieces can now start to dissolve and get in here. So we're going to keep letting it heat up until it starts to boil. As soon as it starts to boil, back the heat down and get it to maybe medium, just a little bit below medium. Also right now, as soon as you put the milk in, put your biscuits in there, and everything will be done at the same time. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. Our biscuits are in the oven. Our milky sausage flour mix over here is warming up. Fire's going high under there to try to get this thing back up to temperature. So Again, no measuring. You're gonna want salt. I would say, I mean, I'm not big on a lot of salt. I like pepper. I use the hot sausage. You don't have to, but I use the hot sausage. The black pepper, if you can't handle black pepper, you're probably not a sausage gravy person. All gravy's it's gonna have black pepper. Again, it looks like a lot, but really, both of those were a fraction of a teaspoon. I like to get a little bit of the red pepper flakes in there. And red pepper, I like hot stuff, like real hot stuff. So this isn't very hot to me, but this adds just a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color. It puts a little bit of orange mixed with your black specks. So now it's starting to look a little bit like gravy. So at this point, it's almost back to boiling. I'm just going to keep stirring it. Stirring it is important. You can't stop stirring this because it'll start to burn. So when you're stirring, you're still using the side of the spoon and you're scraping the bottom. You see that? That's what's happening. So the bottom where it's hot by the fire is basically turning the flour into dough down there. It's making a thick spot. So if you let it just sit there like it does up here, if you let it just stay without stirring it, you're gonna burn it. So we're basically scraping off all that stuff that's getting thick and mixing it back in with everything else. It's starting to get thicker. You can still smash up, you got any chunks in there. Don't forget to check your biscuits every now and then. But everything should finish about the same time. As soon as we start to see it boil, which I just saw a bubble, we're going to turn the heat down. And actually this stuff you could probably even just turn it off at this point and it'll get thick. So it thickens up as it cools. We didn't add anything in here to any of those things you could add to make stuff thicken up. This is just flour, milk, salt, pepper, a little bit of the red pepper, a little bit of the red pepper flakes, just a little skosh of olive oil. All right, look, now we're boiling. I'll turn it down to low. It's like spaghetti sauce. It's gonna make a mess if you let it sit here and boil. So get it low. It's hot now. You'll see there'll be parts of it that are probably thick enough to put on your biscuit, but most of it's still a little runny. Just keep stirring it. All right, we are almost done. You can see this is getting thick, starting to look like it's supposed to. I don't even taste test this stuff anymore, but you can. Lick the spoon, it's not gross. Stick it in here, it's gonna get sterilized. But basically go easy on the salt when you start out. Just a little sprinkle in there. If you taste it and it tastes floury, then you know it needs a little more salt. You gotta be careful though, go easy on the salt, because if you go too much, like there's a spot where it's perfect, and then just 1 grain more of salt makes it salty, and I don't like it salty. So the way I did it always works out for us. So now we've checked our biscuits. They're going to be almost done. This stuff here is almost done. Just keep stirring it. And clean as you go. One of the best things I learned working in restaurants was clean as you go. We got our plates ready. We're going to put all these ingredients away, and we'll be back when it's done. All right. So the biscuits are done. One thing we like to do is as soon as we take the biscuits out, flip them over, because we don't like the bottom of our biscuits to get any more cooked, and this pan will sit here and still cook them for another couple minutes. So take them out, flip them over, turn off your heat. You'll notice now it's thick. Now it can pile up. It is done. All right. It is now done. It'll be delicious. Everybody that tastes it will say this is the best gravy. Where did you learn that recipe? So hope you learned something and enjoy.